Welcome to our USA Biz Party live stream leading up to our Telesummit on December 15th. I am Anna Scheller. I am your host, and I have the privilege of joining me today. It's okay. It's okay. It's just Tuesday. It's a short week. But I have the privilege today of discussing what are the benefits of community. And I have with me today some great people who are joining me. So first, I'd like to introduce Andrea Smith. Andrea is the head of the ADS agency in Atlanta, Georgia. Right, Andrea?
That's right.
Awesome. Next, we have Zala. Zala is all the way joining us from Slovenia. Is that right, Zala? Slovenia.
Yes. Excellent pronunciation. Super, Anna.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad you're here. She's an educator, coach, and digital and social media trainer. Next, we have Eric Nevins. Eric is the head of the Christian Podcasters Association. And following my lead, he has started his own Twitter chat. So welcome, Eric.
Hey, thanks. Great to be here.
And last but not least, we have Nathalie Gregg. Nathalie is the host of the Lead Loudly Twitter chat. And she is coming on. She's having a little trouble with her internet, we think, earlier. So we will we'll continue. And then Nathalie, when we get your picture, we'll have you join us. So before we go, let's talk, introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit more about what you do and how important community is to you. So Andrea, let's start with you.
Yeah, so Andrea again with the ADS agency. ADS is a lovely double entendre for my initials, Andrea D, but it also conveniently and thankfully adds like advertising. So that's exactly the space that we're in. We're a marketing and branding firm here in Atlanta. Love helping brands figure out how to move through this world. In a short nutshell, that's what we do. And what community means to me. The most important thing, I think, is the sense of belonging that you can create. We all have that essential innate need to feel like we belong. Community can do that for us, even now during COVID, with the online communities we have. It's just such a great way to connect us all and make us feel like we're not alone in our efforts and our pursuits. So, to me, that's one of the best things you've got about community.
Thank you. Thank you. And then also, we are live. We're live on 8 different channels. So YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't know if we got on Instagram, but if you're joining us live, please say hello. We will get to see your comments in the chat and they get to scroll across. So we have a chance to interact with you. And if you're watching the live, well, not the live, I'm sorry. If you're watching the replay, let us know where you're joining us from. We would love to connect with you. All right, Zala, your turn. What do you do, and what does community mean to you?
Thank you. It's a great feeling to be here. Hello, everybody from Slovenia. Basically, my work is spread in 2 different ways. I work in cybersecurity, IT, and safe and responsible internet as an educator and trainer and coach. So my really big community are schools, educational organizations, and systems. And this community is truly very supportive and giving and has proven in these turbulent days that it is the best way to crowdsource ideas, to lift each other up, and actually to come up with some crazy and inspiring ideas. And that for me basically is the source of why I love communities. Because it's not just a place, it's not just a feeling, it's not just people, but it's what we are able to co-create together. And regarding the social media and digital land space, I love supporting people who are just starting out, entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and really small businesses that are actually maybe just figuring out social media and digital landscape and just need pointers and starters and strategy and know how to leverage their business. I think now even more there's a great opportunity with having this digital connectedness and having all these tools that we're still able to persevere and continue working and connecting with each other.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Zala. And Eric, your turn. You're up.
Yeah. So I am a podcaster, and I have a couple of podcasts. My main one is called Halfway There, all about the Christian spiritual journey. And about 3 years ago, I started a group called Christian Podcasters Association on Facebook, and that really grew into kind of a business now, where we have memberships and different services that we're offering, including our own conference coming up here in January. Community, though, what's been amazing about that is having people who love the same thing as you do, right? Is just being, so a couple of you mentioned not being alone, right? Just, my family didn't want to talk about podcasting anymore, right? They were just kind of done. So I can go into Christian Podcasters Association and talk about podcasting as much as I want, because we're all trying to figure it out. We're all doing it together. And so you're not alone. When I started, that didn't really exist. And so now it's a place where, I don't know, 1,300 of us can get together and ask those questions about microphones or hosting or all those things that people ask. And I love it. It's great.
Well, I love how everybody's brought their own flavor to the whole idea of why community is important, because community means something different to everybody. And I think virtual community has become obviously far more important than ever because we're isolated from each other. Even during this time, how many of us thought that COVID was going to be over by now? That it wasn't going to be, we weren't going to be masking up. We weren't going to be having to stay away from people. How many folks, like for Thanksgiving, how many of you are thinking, okay, so how do we serve the turkey? And how do we, how do we do the different things we need to do to stay safe? So, but what kind of support? Let's talk about this. Virtual community, is it the same as we all get together and we hang out and we drink whatever we're drinking? What is it? What kind of support can we get from a virtual community? Anybody can just pop in.
Well, if I can go first, I would have to say for me, the feeling of community that I have experienced in the most, let's say, raw form was actually that feeling when you are missed, when you're not present or when you're not there. So people actually, follow up or just say, are you okay? Can we help you with something? Do you need do you need to talk or do you need anything? And I think that besides all the rest of things, at least for me, so the technology, learning new tools, learning new ideas, adapting things along the way, trying to salvage some part of the business or some part of the face-to-face interactions and trying to transform them into the virtual ones. That is one part of it, but I think that this really human connection and the human side of community has been a real lifesaver for me. Because it's we all feel all kinds of feels. We are all trying to hang in there and try to persevere and see the light at the end of the tunnel. But often it's like small gestures that can just reframe your mind, can put you in a better mood. And like Eric mentioned, it's like your family or your friends that are not in the same industry might not be available to listen to all your struggles that you're facing professionally, but then you have a community that really feels your feels, and that you can basically just turn to them and just have a friendly chat, or just maybe cry, or just let it all out there, and it's a much better day, and you're able to go on.
For sure. For sure. I think virtually we can't underestimate the power of connecting virtually. We can't underestimate that power. We have a few comments. So John Buglino with Uptessa. Uptessa is going to be actually, or is, a gold sponsor for the Telesummit. So thank you, John. John's going to be joining us on one of the live streams, and he's here with us today. Also, we have Tom Reed, and Tom's going to be one of our speakers. So he says, hello, so nice to see the smiling faces of old and new friends. I think most of us, I don't know if you know Eric, Tom. Eric's a good guy. You want to connect with him. And Esther says, virtual community has been a lifesaver for so many over the last few months. So true. So true. And, you know, I have to say, just like in my interactions with Zala, that when she comes on USA Biz Party, she always has something bright and cheerful to share. We're always grateful when she does, because there is quite a bit of time difference between us. There's 7 hours, 6 or 7 hours,
yes.
Zala? Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's 7 hours. And for USA Biz Party, I'm always grateful because me being in the Central European time, I have to tell you that I really miss a lot of Twitter chats, because it's like 11, midnight, 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But I'm really grateful for this community, because it gives me the opportunity to connect with like-minded people, and it's a really good segue into my evening and closing the Tuesdays for me.
Awesome. Yeah. So, Andrea, it looked like you wanted to share something about the kind of support we can get from virtual community.
Yeah, I think one of the other great things, and I love what you said, Zala, I also think one of the great things about community that we can't really get anywhere else is that wonderful opportunity to collaborate. I don't think that, it's really hard to do just one way on channels that we have with social media or YouTube or places like that, where we're just giving content. But in a community setting, we actually have the opportunity to collaborate with each other and form collaborations with each other. So whether that's to build content together or to tackle a problem together, there's something wonderful about the ability of people to jump in, and people do want to help, which is one of the great things about community. So if someone comes in there with a problem, whoever's available at the time can jump in and offer their solutions and things to try. I think that's highly, highly valuable right now, depending on what the community is. But really, I think that goes to say for any community, ability to collaborate, I think, is powerful and awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you. And Eric?
Yeah, I love that. So, really community is all about knowing and being known, right? So what's been very interesting in COVID is we don't have the same ability to know one another in person, right, as we normally would, right? If you would go to a conference and know somebody or see them, right, run into them, give them a hug or shake their hands or something, that's all kind of gone. But it's interesting the way that virtual can actually spread and make the possibility of connecting to more people, help you know more people than ever before and be known by more people. I mean, now, and I guess you and I met at a real live conference, but we've stayed connected because of virtual, right? Because we're able to do things like this. And I know people, I've interviewed people for my show, like literally all over the world. We're able to connect, together today that way because we can do it. And so I think, that knowing and being aware of people and their work and their things that bring them joy, I think that is really the essence of community. And I think it's the real the piece that shouldn't get lost. And I hope I've got a whole diatribe about that I won't go into right now, about the way, particularly in some places, circles that I go in, like take advantage of that, the way that social can allow you to know each other. I think it's valuable.
Yeah, and the support, so much has gone to virtual. So we
Yeah.
do have opportunities to collaborate. I mean, even like church services or meetings have had to go to virtual simply for the sake of safety to protect people who are more vulnerable during this period. And I'm going to be honest with you guys and with our audience. Oh, by the way, thank you, Barbara, for joining us on Facebook. Thank you. Thank you. This is not going away. Even when the vaccine comes out, even when we don't have to mask up to walk outside of our homes anymore, this is going to be a mainstay. And so investing in virtual communities I believe it's really important, which is why we're doing the Telesummit on the 15th of December. And Andrea she was actually one of the first people to jump on. She's been so supportive. But we're going to be doing a lot of networking. It's not going to be one of your conferences where you're just going to sit there and go, oh yeah, that was nice. I can be doing other things while that person's talking. No, you're actually going to have the opportunity to interact with the speakers in special sessions. There's going to be networking going on, and you get a free membership depending on the level. We have 3 tiers of tickets. Depending on the level of tickets you purchase depends on the amount of membership. So Andrea is going to get 3 months of free membership because she bought the middle tier. So really cool. But I will say that I'm going to give away 2 tickets during this. I have 2 promotional tickets that I can give away during this event. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that. I don't want to turn this into a big promo. I just want people to know what's going to be happening and why I would even do this. This is a lot of work. Free tickets. Free tickets. So now we are finding value in our communities. And so I know each of us belongs to a community, a virtual community. So what is the value that you find in the communities that you're part of? So Andrea, why don't you start us off?
In my community, so I'm in quite a few, as I'm sure many of you are, but the ones that I find the most valuable are the ones where you learn something, so it's helpful to you. You're actually picking up something that you didn't know to help you in your journey, wherever you are. So, like Eric mentioned before, community brings together like-minded people who have similar interests. So ideally, if you're in that community, it means we're probably along the same path, at least for one particular goal. So the opportunity to learn something, I think, is really great. That otherwise people outside of that community don't care about, like Eric was saying. Like none of my people care about YouTube, but I can go to my ATL YouTube creators community and ask the nerdiest questions I want about
Right.
and people are going to be like, Andrea, shut up already. We don't know what you're talking about. In that group, people know what I'm talking about, and oh gosh, what's another great one? SEO. My SEO friend has like a online bosses, like web bosses kind of a community. And she just gives great tips, stuff like I don't consider myself an SEO expert, so when I go in there, I can talk to her, and she's always got great tips going, but at the same time, there's helpful people in there. So if we're trying out something that she gave us, to try out in our own businesses, there's people there who are doing the same thing. And if we run into a problem, they can likely help us through that. So I think that's just part of the value of all that is you're learning something that you actually care about and is unique to your own path.
I like that, the idea that the value you're getting, and it's not like everybody's going, oh, it's Andrea again. It's everybody wants to help Andrea, right? People want to help you. They want to share what's worked for them, and they want you to succeed. Eric, let's go with you this time.
Yeah. So this is kind of playing off what you said there, Andrea. I love the idea that I don't have to be the smartest person in the room, right? Like, so we have, I have a mastermind that I do with my podcasters, and I love it when other people, somebody asks a question and I don't have to know the answer. So, often in podcasting, I'll know something about what's happened, or what can help them. But if I leave a little space, sometimes other people will bring up other ideas that I've never even thought of, right? Or they have something else, a resource that they've heard of, or a person, another guru or somebody who's got something to help them. And I love that because I don't have to know everything because, really I can't know everything. And I need to depend on the rest of the community to provide, that kind of thing. So other perspectives, I love that kind of option.
Yeah, everybody's nodding like, yes, definitely. How much have we ever just sat, and especially in the USA Biz Party chat,
Yeah.
I've watched some of those answers come in and I think, oh, I didn't think of that. That's the perfect way to express that. I mean, there's the collaboration piece, there's learning, there's just so much. Okay, Zala, you're up.
Wow, what can I add to all of this? It's, I think, so many great examples. And for me, actually, I truly believe in collaboration, not competition. And I think that online communities or virtual communities are really a place where, you're not valued by your titles, what you do, your experience, but you come there as you are, you can offer your insights. And for me, the biggest value is because a lot of times you don't have time to catch up with all the news and all the new tips and tricks that come out. And basically, you can just reach out to your community and wow, you see something new, you learn something new. And it's basically like Andrea said, it's learning while having fun. And one other thing that I would like to add is also because I've sat on both sides of the community. So I have been a community manager also, and I think that is one of the most wonderful roles and responsibilities that I've had, because you actually realize that communities don't just happen. They don't just happen and are there and stay there and thrive and nurture, but it's actually the love of connecting people and coming together, supporting them, being engaging and motivating actually creates the sparks and all the beauty. And when you have all that and when you put all your energy into that and you really want to see your community thrive, I think the add value is that that is your biggest word of mouth. And as Eric already mentioned, it gives you a tremendous reach. Today, social media we can reach virtually anybody. I mean, literally, you don't have to do much else. Of course, you have to, but it's like, it's the best feeling when your community is also your word of mouth and spreader of your news and activities.
For sure. And yeah, spreading it to share with other people that can get the value from being part of that community is so, so important. Now we have Tom was sharing his perspective. If we could get his comment up to the powers that be. There we go. So successful businesses are built on relationships. And if you develop them, you create a community. If you don't, your business will struggle, right?
Yeah.
This year has been unprecedented in economic struggle for businesses. Here in my hometown, the newspaper just closed. It has been around for over 100 years, and they just closed. Yeah, it was very sad. It was sad because you don't think about important things like your newspaper closing, and yet how can community help those kinds of people? But community requires an investment. It's, Zala, you mentioned about the moderator, the manager. So someone like myself or Eric or Andrea, you moderate a group too in Facebook. I'm part of one of your groups in Facebook. So it takes time and effort for us to put into the community, but also it requires some investment on the part of the participants. And so when you can do something like offer masterminds and offer membership sites, those can be another great way to meet up and get more support from the community that you're in, which is why we're doing the Telesummit, which is why we are doing, creating a membership website that's going to have a lot of fun things like, let's see, we're going to have webinars. So some of our members will ask them to please share what they do. Like I can already think of one that Andrea is going to get to do when I approach her about it. And another one for Eric. So because these are all areas that people are looking for answers. And you can find them because a 1 hour Twitter chat is great, but we can expand it so much more. So what I'm going to offer, I said I was going to offer 2 promotional tickets. So in the chat, if you want one of those tickets, you need to say, I'm in. Put it in the chat. I'm in. Okay. So again, not to make this too promotional, but the last question I have is, how can people, and we kind of touched on that a little bit here, how can people get the most benefit from being in a community?
Well, I have an answer for that. The only way to get the most out of your community is to serve the community, right? So whatever, the people that I love when I bring people into my Facebook group are the ones who I can tell that they're going in and reading everything and trying to answer questions because they keep popping up in my notifications, right? Because they keep going, they've shown up in the group and they're like, I'm going to offer value here. I'm going to answer that question, or I'm going to ask a question that I think other people, might also have. And so, those are the people that are going to get the most out of the group when they show up and say, hey, I want to be on a podcast, or I want you to be on my podcast. That's really it. And it really all boils down to service. You mentioned this, right? It all boils down, how am I helping other people? Yeah. I go back to this all the time. Zig Ziglar said, you can get anything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want, right? That's the most basic thing about business, about where we are. That's the deal. That's how it works. And that's how it works in community too.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree with that. Serving others, I think, is the point in general, and absolutely we can do that through community. And I think another way too, also to get the most out of all this, is allowing enough openness and transparency for people to get to know you, whether you're the moderator or a participant in the community. Allowing people to get to know you, and also caring enough to get to know the people who are also there as well. It's not like you have to know all 10,000 of them or however many you've got in your community, but do you know a nice handful, enough to say, I remember Zala, in that community, she was really great at X, or she had that problem with this and I just found out the solution. I got to run back and tell her. So really forming real relationships, I think, is where you get a lot out of community. Is you know enough about someone to be able to help them, and care about their situation enough, to want to see them succeed and do better. So yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
Oh, I love that. Service and authentic, genuine. Yeah. So for example, on the Twitter medium, some people say we should just stick to business. Now, LinkedIn, I wouldn't put the fact that I fell down and I injured my knee and I was laid up for a week on some really fun drugs, Oh, it was lovely. Try having a conversation with that, right? But on Twitter and Facebook, those are great places. I think Facebook groups are a fabulous way to really connect with people, because that's a place where you can be a little bit more personal. But the Twitter chats too, I really feel the Twitter chats, especially USA Biz Party. I know a lot about the people who are in USA Biz Party, and I make efforts to reach out to those people because I want them to feel that they're part of the community and that they're valued by me and by Esther. it's easier for me to contact them because I'm here in the States. Esther is over in the UK, but we actually have a growing community in the United Kingdom as well, people who are part of our community. So Zala, how can people, from your experience, what can people do to get the most benefit from community?
I have to agree with what already Andrea and Eric said, and what you've also mentioned. But from also my experience, I would have to say that a really important part of this is that you take time in your day, or that you allocate some time and effort to actually be present and to give something back. Not just what's in it for me in this community, or what's in it for me short term, long term, mid term, and how can I promote myself and my business, but actually just to show that you care, and allocate time not only to get to know people, but to help these people feel welcome, to expand the community, and actually facilitate a space where we can all get together, where there is collaboration, and where you can always pick up where you've left before. So consistency and taking the time and making the time is a really big one for me.
That's really, consistency is really important. Very, very important. I think having myself become the moderator of the USA Biz Party, I have had to be consistent, but I'm so grateful because we have quite a large and a growing community as a result. And I know that we can also share, so I want to share a little bit about some of the membership perks that people will enjoy by signing up for this event. Even if you don't get a ticket, or you don't get one of the promo tickets, it's $10 to get the bottom tier, to get into the event and get 1 month for free. So you will become part of a private Facebook group, which is what we talked about. There'll also be monthly webinars, which I mentioned. So people like Eric and Zala and Andrea, they'll be able to share with you their expertise. I've done an Instagram challenge with Andrea, and that was a lot of fun. That was a ton of fun. So we may do stuff like that too. Wouldn't that be cool? Another great perk, and this I'm excited about it because a lot of people want to know what's coming up. So you'll get access to the USA Biz Party calendar and the questions in advance so that you can preload your answers, and then you're free to interact with people. So I thought that'll be valuable so that we can create more community, get to know each other better. And then of course, every month we'll have a virtual meetup. So I'm pretty excited about this. We just have so much, and this is just the beginning. Esther and I continue to think of things that we're going to add to the membership. So a $10 ticket will get you access to the event and 1 month free trial membership. If you buy the $40 ticket, then you get 3 months of membership. And I can't think of anything that's, more valuable for just $40. But let me know. I think we still have 1 ticket that's ready for giveaway. So if you are on this live stream, please say I'm in. If you're on the replay and you're the next person, then you get it. I would love to see you there. Now, okay, enough commercial. But it's so important. I want people to join because I want to get to know you better. I want to get to know you better. I know Andrea would love to get to know you better. And Chris would love to get to know you better. And Zala would love to get to know you better. But before we end this live stream, first of all, I want to say thank you for joining me. Aren't they great? They're such a great panel. Thank you for sharing your expertise. I'm sorry Nathalie couldn't make it. I know she was trying, so we'll try to get her on another live stream. But last words about the benefit people can have by engaging in community. And let's see, we'll start with Zala.
Thank you. I think from my own experience, I'd like to share from my own experience. I think the key is in curiosity. I mean, if you just sit there and say, oh, I want to be part of a community, oh, I need to find something, literally nothing will happen. I think that Twitter is an excellent tool and source of communities that you can find, get to know, and become a really, part of a community that you can relate to and can give you so many benefits. So just, open your mind, be clear about what you're looking for, what interests you, what kind of like-minded people you're looking for, and just, tap into different communities and try out. And I guarantee you will find some pretty amazing communities, like Anna already mentioned, USABizParty, and there are also others that you don't need a calendar, because you know where people are, where you can reach them, when the Twitter chat is, and it's a great way for you to, have your personal conversations, have your business conversations, and just, enrich your personal and business life. That's what I'm in for. That's the cherry on the top of my communities.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love curiosity and try things out. And it doesn't mean that you have to be on a chat every week. We understand. We understand that you have a business to run and lives. And then Barbara Edwards was sharing. She actually won the first free ticket for today. So Barbara Edwards was sharing that there is nothing worse than those who seem to take, but never contribute. There's joy in contribution. There is joy in contribution. It's fun. It's just fun to share what you know. It's fun to help people. I personally love USABizParty for that. Just that aspect of it. Let's see. Let's go to Andrea now.
I'm going to say the thing that is probably like the white elephant in the room with all this, but it's so true. Having a great community can promote good sales. Business. At the end of the day, if you're moderating a community, chances are it's because you also have a business of some sort. You have some offer at some point that you want to give. And while most of us know, if you are a community manager, that you clearly do not want to make your community just a sales pool for all your stuff all the time. But if you are constantly grooming your community and nurturing them, being of help to them, being of service to them, to Eric's point earlier, you're creating an environment where people do begin to know, like, and trust you, all the key ingredients to be, to get in a position for sales. And so if you are constantly helping along the way, by the time you have an offer that is actually going to be, again, of help to that community, you're going to have enough people who are interested in it and will gladly purchase it, not only as a thank you to you, but because they know it's going to be of great service to them. So at the end of the day, if you're in business, community also equals money. Just if you do this right, it's going to work out for you.
Absolutely.
Very true, because you've established a relationship with that person. When I think of Christian podcasting, I think first and foremost of Eric. Of course, I am in his group and I am part of his community as well. But because of the relationship we've built through the community, those are the people that come top of mind. And actually, the people who are here were top of mind to me to join us today because of the community we've built. I was thrilled that all of you have joined us. Okay, Eric, I'll let you speak too. So no worries there. You have a chance.
All right. Well, you call these famous last words. And so I like to have, or last words, I like to have famous last words, right? So I was just going to say, just do it, right? The thing about community is you have to be engaged in order to get anything out of it and in order to do it. So if you want a friend, you have to be a friend. And so I would say, it doesn't matter if you're a friend yourself, we mentioned business. If you find yourself and you need a community, you have to go out and serve and do the things in order to receive back. But go out, just do it. Just, comment on people's posts, or say hello, or reach out and say, hey, let's get coffee, whatever it is, whether it's business oriented or personal oriented. That's the way it works.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you. Coffee. Speaking of coffee, or is that tea? No, you're a coffee nut, right, Andrea?
I like both. I like tea and coffee. So.
Oh, okay. Well, again, thank you, Andrea, Zala, and Eric. We're sorry that Nathalie couldn't make it, but we are so glad that you are here with us. Keep in mind, the community, we are going to be having our Telesummit. Tickets are available. And I don't know how many of those $10 tickets are left, but you don't want to wait too long to get your ticket and join us for 4 hours, speakers, sessions, just fun interaction. We're going to have games too. Oh, can't wait for the games. So we're going to have games, and we're going to be doing stuff beforehand in the Facebook group. So you definitely want to be part of this. Get to know some people, helping you build community as we build ours. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. We're going to be doing the live stream on Wednesday, and we're going to have the moderators who are going to be working the sessions, talking to you from their perspective of how we're going to get more out of this Telesummit. Thank you very much, and thank you, Tom. Good to see everyone. Take care.